Let's talk about your past. No, I don't want to know details. But I do want to know, why are you dragging your past around with you everywhere you go? It's like carrying a 100-pound backpack on your shoulders, just weighing you down. The past is over. You are the only one keeping it alive. The past only exists in your mind, in language and in words. It's like grasping the ungraspable. It's like grasping a ghost. It doesn't exist anymore. You are the only one keeping it alive. I could drop you on a beautiful beach in Hawaii. White sandy beach, palm trees, sunshine, blue waves crashing in on the shore. And within minutes, you start reliving and replaying and recycling things from the past. An argument you got in with your boyfriend, what your mom said at Christmas when she said she didn't like your cooking, some text message you got from a best friend or a colleague or something that just set you off. And here you are staring out at this beautiful white sandy beach, and your mind is dragging the past and all this garbage and junk and clutter onto this beautiful beach. But it could be anywhere, any neutral place. You could be at Starbucks, you could be at work, you could be running errands. We're dragging our past with us everywhere, carrying it around, reliving conversations, arguments, text messages, phone calls, all this stuff with us. And it just weighs us down. It's like this massive backpack on your shoulders. We create a storm inside of us when things can be quite pleasant and neutral on the outside. And it just creates all this turmoil. And we live in this echo chamber. It just recycles over and over again. You just relive these conversations and arguments and everything. We're like a walking conversations. And it's not healthy, and it robs us of so much of the joy and vitality of whatever we are experiencing in the present moment. Why not just let life unfold in front of you as it is? Again, you're back at this white sandy beach looking at paradise, and yet you dragged this past with you and created this storm inside and all this turmoil, and you're not able to enjoy whatever you're experiencing, the beach or Starbucks or lunch with a friend, wherever you are. It robs us of all the joy and vitality. And why is this so important? Because there is a river of joy that flows within you. There is a river of joy that flows within you. Why don't you feel that? Because we've created so many disturbances. It's like putting rocks all in the river, big rocks, small rocks, stuff that we haven't processed. It got stuck, and it gets stuck in this river of joy. And the river is not able to flow. There's no fluidity. It gets blocked. Some of us are so blocked that it's like the Colorado River, one of the biggest rivers in America, that has a Hoover Dam that literally blocks it completely, and the river can't flow. But the river of joy wants to flow. I promise you, if they could take a brick out of that Hoover Dam, that river would bust right through that dam and blow it up and flow beautifully again. And that's the same with your river of joy, your energy within you, this upward flow of energy that wants to flow. And we've created these blockages within us, these rocks, big rocks, small rocks, big stuff that's happened to you, small stuff that's happened to you. And I get it. We've all had events that have happened to us in the past, many unpleasant, very traumatic, things like that. So there's some big things, and then there's these small things, these small arguments that we have, text messages, phone calls. But it just blocks that river of joy. And that's why we don't feel that anymore. And it's because we keep dwelling in the past. We keep living in the past. So I've talked about this in other videos, the let go, don't know mantra, where you let go of the past. And I've received some great comments from you. Thank you so much. One of them was, I don't want to forget my past. My past is valuable. It's who I am. So I just want to clarify. I'm not saying forget your past. I'm saying don't live in your past. I'm also saying you need to fully process whatever happened in your past so it doesn't get stuck in you, so you can move from it. You let it pass through you. The rocks that I'm talking about, these blockages in your river of joy, are these experiences and events that you didn't let pass through you. You didn't fully process it. When you were 5, perhaps you touched a hot stove. You burned your finger. You've probably never touched the stove ever since because you learned from that experience. But you also fully processed it. You let it pass through you. So you didn't forget your past. You now have learned from that experience. It fully processed through you. It passed through you. It moved through you. And you fully processed it. So now you understand that. You learn from that experience and you move on. You probably never touched a hot stove since. That's beautiful. You didn't forget your past. Alternatively, though, if you were 5, or like what happened to my client when he was 8, his father came home drunk one night and started, grabbed him by the neck and picked him up against the wall and was yelling at him. And he never fully processed that. So that got stuck within him. It didn't pass through him. It didn't move through him. It's a very traumatic event, obviously. But that's like placing a big rock in his river of joy. So what I'm saying is we need to fully process all these events, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Because if we don't, we suppress it. We keep it inside of us. And it starts to block that river of joy. When you were 2 years old, 3, even 5 years old, you had so much joy. You would skip, you'd run, you'd go play in the playground with your friend, run around, feeling so much joy. We don't have that joy anymore because we put all these rocks, big rocks, small rocks, any traumatic events that have bothered us, any disturbances, and it blocked that river. We had so much joy when we were so young because we didn't have these experiences yet. But one by one, this accumulation, big events and small events. It can be even little things that trigger us, like I said, text messages, phone calls, little petty arguments, stupid stuff. But you start putting enough of these pebbles and rocks, and then you have some of the big ones there, and all of a sudden, we're in adult life, and that river of joy is just not flowing anymore because you have this accumulation. Can you see that? So I'm not saying to forget your past. Your past is very valuable. I'm saying you need to fully process all your experiences. Don't let it get stuck in you. Let it pass through you. Welcome to planet Earth and being human. Stuff is going to happen to us, but we need to process it properly and pass through us. They are all experiences. If you suppress it, it's going to weigh you down, and that river of joy doesn't flow anymore. I also got some feedback about regrets. People live with regrets. They have guilt. They have shame. I should have told my mother I loved her before she died. I should have married Johnny instead of Jimmy. Everybody's got regrets, and they live with regrets. Regrets serve no purpose at this point. You need to let them go. The past is past. You cannot change the past, so let it go. By dwelling in this, the guilt, the shame, like, gosh, I should have done this, I should have done that, that serves no purpose to carry that forward into your present life. You need to let go of the regrets. What I would say is now, with your higher level of awareness and experience, if you were confronted with the same situation again, would you do the same thing again? And if your answer is no, I've learned now with my higher level or with new awareness and experience, I would have handled that differently. Great. You learn from that experience. You move on. Be grateful you learned from it. Life is about experiencing and growing and evolving and maturing. So take pride in that. You learn from that. You would have handled it differently then, but you can't go back to the past. The past is past. You can't change the past, so let it go. When you have regrets and you can't let it go, you just cause suffering. You just cause misery. You cause turmoil. You're bringing this inner storm with you when it doesn't need to be there with you. If you do a cost-benefit analysis, regrets are 100% cost, 0% benefit. All it does is create suffering and misery. You need to let it go. As I said, be grateful for the experience and learning, and now you would handle things differently. Wonderful. You've evolved, you've grown, you've matured. Take consolation in that. It's beautiful. But don't dwell in the past. Don't drag it around with you and like, gosh, I should have done this. I should have gone to med school. I should have asked her out, but I didn't. I was a chicken, and that was 10, 20 years ago. I have all these regrets, and now my life sucks. It's like, no, you are where you are today. Accept reality where you are today and start from there and learn from everything you did in the past, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you let go of the past, you also collapse the future. Because pain from the past influences fear in the future. So the more you let go of the past, the more awareness and opportunity you have and abundance in the future. I'll give you a great example. We've all had our heart broken. So you've had your heart broken, but you meet a new guy and you're excited about this guy, but you put up your walls. You have all these boundaries. You're like, gosh, I don't know. I was hurt before. I don't want to be hurt again. And you literally sabotage what could be potentially a great relationship because the pain from the past influenced your fear in the future. And you said, no, I don't think I want to go out with this guy or take a chance because I've been hurt before. I don't want to be hurt again. I'm going to sabotage this thing, and you blow it up. The pain from the past influences fear in the future. When you let go of the past, you collapse the future and you come into the now, the present moment. So if you let go of that and you met a new guy or gal or what have you, you're open to the experience. You're not dragging your past with you and all that heartbreak and everything. You're free. You're fresh. You're open. More abundant. It's beautiful. Can you see that? We live in a bubble of fear when we drag our past around with us. Because we all have these experiences, and I get it. Some people have had horrible traumatic events happen. Abuse, physical, verbal, sexual. I get it. All that is horrible. But we are here today in this present moment. And you do have the ability to let it all go. The past only exists in your mind, in language and in words. And you are the only one keeping it alive. As you go out in daily life, there's not somebody that's staring at you all the time and saying, no, you need to think about what happened 5 minutes ago or 5 days ago or 5 years ago. Nobody's doing that. We do that to ourselves. But we can let it go. We can take those rocks out of that river of joy. Depression is from the past. Anxiety is the future. Depression is from the past. Depression is this accumulation of these events that we have that we don't fully process. We need to let it pass through us. These are all experiences, and I get it, some of them are terrible, but if they can pass and move through us, we're free, and we take those rocks out, and that river of joy flows. You can do it. Your body has a mechanism for it. If you had bad sushi last night, you had food poisoning, you're up all night throwing it up, your body has a mechanism to purge it out. Your mind, you can do the same thing. Everything that you stored and suppressed because you didn't fully process it, you have the ability to get that out. But what you have to first do is stop putting more stuff in. If you start letting go of everything new, starting now, and not suppressing it, you let it pass through you. Whatever it is, a text message, an argument, a mean conversation on the phone, things happen. If you just let it go, you're not storing or suppressing anything more in you. And guess what? When you don't have any more disturbances coming in, the disturbances and things that you've suppressed already, they start coming back out. Now, it was painful when you pushed it down into your body and suppressed it. It's going to be painful when it comes back up. But when it comes back up, you simply relax. You relax back to where you notice from, relax and release. And you just start letting that out. And it's like that 100-pound backpack I started this conversation with. You're just starting to unload things out of your backpack. The backpack gets a little lighter and lighter and lighter, and soon you just take the backpack off. I'm not saying forget your past. I'm saying don't live in your past and fully process all the experiences from your past. Let it pass through you. Let it move through you. It's like taking all those rocks out of the river of joy, and it starts to flow again. You have this upward flow of energy, this Shakti they call it, or Chi, and you just start feeling lighter. I've used the metaphor before. When you get on an airplane, most of us feel like we're carrying like 3 carry-on baggages on there. We're just weighed down completely as we're boarding the plane. It's because we're dragging our past around with us. You let go of the past. You don't allow any more disturbances to come in, and the ones that we've stored and suppressed there start coming out. And you just relax back to where you notice it, and you let it release. And they come out. And you're just freer and lighter, and you're boarding that plane with no luggage, no carry-ons. It's a beautiful thing. But you need to fully process every event that now happens to you moving forward. Just let it pass through you. And yes, you're going to have challenges, but you don't need to suffer with the challenges anymore. You have the ability to accept reality, the ability to handle reality and experience life as it is, not as you defined it to be or as you want it to be, but as it is, as events unfold. And some things will go your way, some things don't go your way, but you don't have a way anymore. You're just flowing, and that river of joy is flowing, and there's no more rocks. And it's such a beautiful thing, that flow of energy, fluidity. You can get there. I promise you. Just like I said with the sushi, the body has a mechanism to purge it out. You have a process that you can purge whatever you've suppressed, and you also have the ability with new awareness to not shove or stuff anything or suppress anything more inside of you. You have absolutely the strength and the will and the power to do so. And at some point you just go, gosh, I don't want any more stuff inside of me. I want to feel this freedom. I want to feel this lightness, this levity in life, and just joy and vitality. The river of joy that flows within you is your natural state. That's the way you should be. You were when you were a toddler, most likely, unless you had a horrible childhood. That joy when you can skip and play and run and just feel free. Just be happy for no reason. That's available to you. You just got to get those rocks out of that river of joy that's within you. You can do it. It's a wonderful feeling. Onward and upward. Love and light.